I mean, pay's not the best.
Yeah, it's a
But
starter.
sometimes for me, if you treat me right, I can deal with this. You gotta
Facts.
weigh that option. You can get paid up here, but get treated like this down here, or you can get treated and paid about here. I like to be treated pretty good. I like to feel good. So when I go to work, it shouldn't be hostile anytime I'm doing work. So,
Yeah, that's great
and if
advice.
it's trucking is a lifestyle. We all know it.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't hate doing what you love to do. Most truckers love to drive. You can't really get into this if you don't love to drive. If you don't like driving for the people you're driving for, maybe it's just not a fit for you.
What's going on, mother truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. Today we are at the 595 at the Mecca Chrome Shop. We're here with my guy Tim, man. As you see, he's a mother trucker himself, man. Dude, it was so great just having you come in, man. People are always like, yo, is he a real person? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm here, baby.
Hey, it's real.
Hey, we're hanging out. We were talking off camera.
Mm-hmm.
And, I heard a little bit of your story. And I thought your story was amazing. So I was like, yo, Tim, could you share it on the show? And you said you didn't mind.
No problem.
Let's talk about it real quick. Introduce yourself, brother.
So, my name is Tim. Been driving for about 2 years now. Got into it, childhood dream. Started out, I did 23 years in the military, and I was like, hey, when I get out, I'm gonna drive trucks. Childhood dream, why not do it? Love to drive. So got into it, and I started with Knight. Loved the company. Love them as how they treat their people. I loved it. And then I would have never left them as far as the company driver.
And this Night Transportation.
Night Transportation.
Some people talk shit about Night. What do you think that is? I mean, I'm not trying to bait it, but what are your thoughts?
I think some people talk about it. Either they know they've been there and they felt like they were done wrong, or it's because of hearsay. But for me, my experience, I can't speak for anybody else. But my experience is they treat you like somebody. Like if you call, you talk to somebody. You talk to your driver manager. You talk to your driver leader. You can call the shop. You can walk in and walk to the desk. It's not a window. There's somebody there every day. Of course, there's not all night, but then in the late nights, you can get to the corporate office. So you can always get in touch with somebody. They get back to you, and they make you feel like me and you talking.
Oh, that's cool.
This is how you talk to your driver leader. You get their cell phone number. You call them. You talk to them. You have an issue, they call you back. Even if they're not working, they'll say, hey, I can either call the guy. So I love that they treat you like a person out of number.
It's so funny because half the time people that give you bad advice, if you really ask them, yo, you talking shit about Night? Did you actually work there?
Right.
They're like, oh, I never even worked that.
Right.
I've been an owner-operator my whole life, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, then why are you speaking on someone you haven't worked there? Right. So thank you for, that.
I mean, and for as far as pay's not the best.
Yeah.
But sometimes for me, if you treat me right, I can deal with this. You gotta weigh that option. You can get paid up here, but get treated like this down here, or you can get treated and paid about here. I like to be treated pretty good. I like to feel good. So when I go to work, it shouldn't be hostile anytime I'm doing work. So
yeah, that's great.
And
advice.
if it's trucking is a lifestyle. We all know it.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't hate doing what you love to do. Most truckers love to drive. You can't really get into this if you don't love to drive. If you don't like driving for the people you're driving for, maybe it's just not a fit for you. You don't have to talk bad about them. So
that's good.
I started with Knight. I only left Knight. I went to Swift, which a lot of people talk bad about Swift.
You hear everything about Swift.
Oh yeah. And you know what I always tell people, they say, well, you driving for Swift and this and that. I say, every one of those individual trucks have a driver behind it. It is up to that driver in every truck to maintain his truck and drive safely. Doesn't matter what the name on the side is, because Swift is just a name.
Honestly, it's a big company.
It's a huge company.
So when you got, I hate to do basketball references, but you got a star player. You give LeBron the ball 100 times.
Right.
He got to make a few in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it looked like he got to make a lot.
Right.
So on the negative side of that, you got 10,000 Swift drivers. You might see a couple more accidents than you would see than a smaller company.
And they, mega companies has the revenue typically to hire newer drivers, which new drivers sometimes can't go to a smaller company because they're not willing to take that risk insurance-wise.
Right.
So people don't look at that. Therefore, yeah, you may have more issues with it because you have a younger driver. But for me, as the driver, slow down, take your time. Slow down, take your time. Everybody was new. Everybody had a day one as a driver. I don't care how long you've been doing this. Everybody's had a day one, week one, month one. So slow down. Give that new guy. If we're in a hurry, slow down. Like, hey, look, maybe he's new. Let him take his 20 pull-ups and back in. If he's backing in and you think you're gonna hit something, stop, get out and help him. It's a community.
I love
You know,
I love that.
So I mean, like I said, I went with Swift and I leased with them.
Now, why did you go from Night to Swift? Why didn't you lease with Night?
So I was with Night for right at 7 months.
Okay.
And they wanted you to have a year. So when I talked to my brother, was actually with Swift.
Okay.
He came over and we would team with Night for about 4 months. He came over and teamed with me on my truck, and then we were both talking about leasing. Whereas Knight told me I didn't have enough experience at the time to lease through them. Swift said you do.
Oh,
So-
what's there about cut like 6 months maybe?
It was at that time it was 6 months, but they've actually moved it up because Knight and Swift did a corporate merge.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah. So
Okay,
right
it was a
now,
money move.
So now
It's a business
it
move.
was a business move. It was nothing negative on Knight at all. It was just
Okay.
the fact that I can't get this right here, and this is where I see I want to go. And I gave myself a 3-year window to start leasing. I was like, I want to lease my first truck at 3-year mark. Well, I was at 7 months and I had the opportunity. Oh, I'm going for it. It was a leap of faith. Could have drowned.
Were you nervous?
Oh, very nervous. Yeah, very nervous. It's like the first time you jump out of a plane. Scared out your mind. No matter how much you want to do it, you're scared.
I'm telling you, and how many years did you say you served in the service, sir?
23 years, 10 days, man.
I apologize. I need to bring this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Man, shout outs to you for that. I'm going to put that in the beginning of the video.
Right.
You're smiling, you're doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great shape.
You gotta stay in shape out here. It's this truck, man. It'll put you in the grave if you let it.
But I'm so excited that you found something, because I do have a lot of friends and I've interviewed a lot of people where after serving for our country, they felt like they didn't have something after that.
Right.
And I'm glad you had love in trucking, and it gave you something. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I say for anyone that served in the service, and you're getting out, and it's kind of off topic, but it's the same. Find your niche. In anything you do for trucking, if you're in a corporate business and maybe you're retiring, but you still want to drive,
right,
or you still want to do something different, but you don't know what it is. Try to find out what it is that you want to do prior to leaving that. Do a little research, and if it's a long-term thing or a short-term, whatever it is, find it. You know what I'm saying? Find that and then go with it. Have an avenue, something to go to. Because a lot of times when we get out of, I've seen service members, they get out of service. They don't know where they're going to go. They don't know what they're going to do. Because we've been driven and kind of told, you're going to work, you're doing this, you're going to deploy, you're coming back, whatever the case is, for so long. Now, you're a civilian. You have to make decisions on your own.
That's the tough part for
And that's
some.
the tough part. It's that transition.
Right.
So you have to make sure you have the right setup so your transition is smooth. Find something, get passionate about it, and then you go for it.
I love it. No, that's amazing. So we left off. You went from Night,
Right.
and then because of the time frame, they couldn't take on lease operators, so you went on to Swift to do that.
Right. Well,
Lease operator. A lot of people give lease operators a lot of shade.
Right.
They say, "Why are you leasing a truck? They're using you. They're this. They're that." I personally rather people become owner operators,
Right.
Instead of leasing.
Right.
But I believe leasing is still a stepping stone.
Right.
So, with you knowing all that, because I know you did your research, why did you still go ahead and lease with Swift?
Like you say, it was a stepping stone. Going from a company driver, not really knowing where to go as far as buying, not knowing exactly what I need, authority, LLC, accounts, and not wanting to jump head over heels into something and not knowing everything about it. So sometimes people can jump into it and it works great for them, but it can also jump straight into it and have so much that it's overwhelming, and then you fail, and then you either lose the drive, or you're owing a lot of money, or now you can't get on load boards. Your authority hasn't matured enough so that you can actually get the loads that you need. Now you are payment behind, your insurance is over. So
Right.
Why go into that? So how about I take a step and I go into, they say, crawl before you walk before you run. So my crawl is the company. My walking is leasing. And when I get my own truck, then I think I'll be ready to run. But I think I need to learn more about it. I need to learn how to drive the truck. I was a master driver in military. I drove a lot of different military equipment, but it's different when you're driving these trucks out here. The roads are different, the loads are different, how everything is set up, the weights. You know, in the military, we put it on the trailer. If it fits, it goes. Here, you know, we're limited, so you have to know that you have to deal with weather. So I wanted to learn more first, and then I get into the leasing, and then understand the business aspects of that. What I have to do, paying your taxes, how you want to do that, who you. So once I figured that out, it's okay, cool. So I started with the company leasing, and then I started researching companies that pay me more on leasing.
Okay, now we're talking about that. So from Knight to Swift, and how long were you at Swift until you made your next?
Almost a year.
So a full year.
Almost a full year.
And then from there, when was the deciding factor that you were going to move on?
It was my wife. My wife, she didn't want to be away, so she went and got her license, and we started teaming. And I was already leasing, so she came in. Literally, I trained her, and she came straight to my truck. So we've been running together ever since, and we ran with Swift, and we were looking at our numbers. We were looking at the miles that we were putting in a total of 8 months with the company. And then average driving, we put 135,000 miles on the truck.
Wow, you guys are going.
Right. From the time since, now mind you, I picked the truck up July 13th last year. It's not July 13th now. I've been off that truck for over 2 weeks.
I hear you.
I put 135,000 miles on that truck.
Wow.
So the revenue for us wasn't matching up.
I hear you. And, you know, not to get into anyone's personal, but most people that are being company driver, they're thinking about going from Swift or what have you to lease operator. What kind of money would someone average around if they were a hard worker like, you know, you and your wife at Swift?
It depends. I really can't give a solid because it depends on where you're going. It depends on weather. You know, when this last season, winter, it was freezing. It was terrible.
Right.
We don't do very good in the cold. We don't play in inclement weather when it comes to ice and stuff like that. So I would, as a lease, you know, you can yes, no on loads. Well, for me, it wasn't smart to take a load that's going to send me up into ice, and I'm going to sit there for 4 days. I might as well take a load that's not going to pay as much and run somewhere south. Well, you could, I don't know what happens, you could, you know, be put at the bottom of the totem pole because you're not taking this load. But it makes, to me, it makes no sense to take a load to go sit on for a week.
Yeah.
You're only going to push one load, you're only going to get maybe your truck note paid, or you're going to be in the hole, and you're spending money.
Gotcha.
You know, as a leaser, you're spending money if you're not running. So if I'm sitting for 4 days out of 7 for this week, I'm not making any revenue.
Right.
So what sense to me does it make to go up in this area? You know, then you know you're paying with fuel costs.
Right.
So all those things played a factor, and as you start to think about it, the revenue just didn't match up with what the miles we were running added up to. You know.
Okay.
So yeah, we were able to live, but it's not where we wanted to be.
Gotcha. So, we can keep it at that, you know, because a lot of times, you know, people really want to know about the money.
Right.
But it's variables.
Right.
Just like you said. So, you know, and let's be honest. If we're talking about a mega carrier, I don't care who you are, mother truckers. If you are at a mega carrier, that should be a stepping stone for you.
Absolutely.
I'm not, no disrespect to anyone that's been at any mega carrier for 25 plus years.
Right.
But like you and I talked about off camera, Tim, that's the mindset of someone that doesn't want to grow.
Right.
That's someone that's comfortable.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with being comfortable.
Exactly.
But that's not for the person that wants to grow. So, you know, I'll leave it at that. So you weren't making the money you wanted to make at Swift. And so what company did you find?
I went to Prime.
Okay. Prime gets a lot of shit too.
Oh,
every company you went to, Tim, gets a lot of shit.
It does. But like I said before, you know, it's not about the name on the side of that truck. It's about how I drive.
Gotcha.
It's my job to be safe in my truck. I can drive a dump truck. If I'm driving like an idiot, I'm being an idiot in a dump truck. I can be an idiot when we drive and we see four-wheelers cut us off all day long, right? To us, those are idiots. They don't understand it's 80,000 plus pounds, depending on what the load is, that can't stop on a dime, and they get in front of you, you know? For the guys to watch this, listen to it from a driver. Stop cutting us off. We can't stop on a dime. Please. It's your life, not ours we're looking at, all right? Please. So when it comes down to it, you know...
what was the carrot that made you want to go from Swift to Prime?
from Swift to Prime, it was difference in pay, how they were paying, mileage versus percentage.
Were they for lease operators? Are they miles or percentage?
Which one, Swift?
For Swift.
Swift is miles,
And for Prime?
percentage.
So a little bit more piece of the pie?
Right. And then you get to see what your, per load, I get to see what my potential gross outcome could be for that load. Of
Okay.
course, my fuel comes out and things of that nature, but you can say, okay, this right here, and of course, you still, in a sense, selecting your load. So they'll send it to you and say, hey, do you want to go here? You want this one? These are your numbers. This is the location, pick up and drop. If you agree with it, you can take it and run.
Gotcha.
That, and then being personable, communication, effective communication, because we in the United States, we in the world, we communicate very well poorly.
I noticed that we do that.
We communicate very well poorly.
No, I hear that. And so you've been with them for about 2 weeks now, correct?
First week driving, last week was orientation.
Orientation.
Yep.
For people that are thinking about going to Prime for orientation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is coming on as a lease operator, correct? First off, that process. I mean, do they take anything from you, or you don't sign nothing and you get put in a truck? I mean, how does that work?
When you go, the key thing for me was talking to your recruiter. Do your homework on every company. I looked at, I think it was 96 different companies called me. I probably called and talked to 40, 50 of them. Some of them told me the numbers, some of them didn't want to do this, some want to run a certain area, and I weighed my options. Prime didn't have everything I wanted, no company does. But the good with the bad, for me and my wife, that was a better option, was to go to Prime.
No, good. And so far, they treated you pretty well?
Oh, yeah. Great communication with my fleet manager. Jeremy's awesome.
Okay.
But yeah, great communication with him, the rest of the team, if there's an issue. Because you're new at a company, you have to learn how they operate. So, like this week here, it's been a lot of phone calls. And no one has been discouraged about our phone calls being so current and so many phone calls about, hey, this is going on. What about this? How do we do this? How do you do this? I know how I've done the last 2 companies I was with.
Right.
How do you do it?
Right.
But it's been very helpful. The truck's running great. I got a 2021 Freightliner. Great condition, very clean. I've only been to one terminal up in Piston, PA, but I tell you, I love the terminal. Clean, has a, you name it, it's in there.
Nah, I heard about these Prime.
You have a gym, you have a store, you have cafeteria, bathroom, showers. They got enclosed in and out fuel islands. Maintenance crew check your truck as you're coming in, going out. Scales on site, truck wash on site, fuel on site, full maintenance trailer, detail shop to clean the truck out. So you don't get a truck that's like half clean. You get a truck that's clean. When I walked in this truck, I looked at it and I was like, man, I understand it's new, but it's new, like it's clean, and it had been driven for about 20,000 miles or so. Still new for a truck, but the truck was immaculate, in great shape, and they took care of it. So any issues I have, I just give them a call, and those guys work you in. So
that's cool. So from Night Swift to Prime, from Night being a company driver, you recommend people to go there?
I do. If you're a brand new driver, unless you have someone that has their own truck and that's going to train you and put you out there in the company, if you are brand new, to me, mega carriers is the way to go for a brand new driver. Number one, because it's easier for them to hire because they have the revenue to cover the insurance.
They have their own insurance.
They have their own insurance because normally they
no one's going to cover nobody.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They have enough money to cover their drivers.
Correct.
So I think it's smart to go that way, but it's also smart to not get complacent. I think most accidents happen from people being complacent, being tired and trying to push through. No, pull that thing over. You're going to kill yourself or somebody else. It makes no sense. Stop.
No.
There's nothing on that truck that's more important than a life.
No, I hear you. So, let me ask you this. You've done a lot in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the 5-year goal?
I have a 10-year goal.
What's your 10-year goal?
My 10-year goal is to be retired completely. I'm not doing anything else. Maybe what you're doing, dispatching, send some trucks. Because my goal is to get my own little personal fleet. I want to have 10 to 20 trucks.
Okay.
At least I'm out to a company that I like.
Right.
and then have drivers, and I work with that company to dispatch my trucks.
No,
And
that's good.
my goal is to grow something so I can pass down to my kids. You have your own name on it. You know,
Love it.
like my LLC is Cohen and Cohen. Me and my wife.
I love it.
So I want, and I encourage, I want veterans, I want people that want to work, I want people that have a drive, you know, and if that's what I believe it's about. It's giving back. You know, I found a way out, and I've got a few buddies that are drivers that are retired, you know, and my goal is to build my little name and get it coming up, and then I can bring somebody else on and say, hey, look, this is how I did it. These are things I went through. And if they, you know, believe in what I'm doing and they want to jump on, and we grab another truck and throw it up on the LLC and authority, and when we get it in, we roll from there. And then eventually I want them to get their own. I don't want anybody to step under me forever, because I don't want to step under anybody forever. I want it to be a revolving door. I want people to come in, get their experience, and just like I do, if they drive a truck for a while and they want to buy it out, take that truck. Now you start your own. I'm happy for you.
Hey,
You know?
I like that.
There's no crabs over here.
No, I heard
Nah.
that.
We pull everybody up. I move up, you coming up.
Hey, I like that. I like that. So, you know, how long do you see yourself doing the lease operator route? You know, you're at the walking stage now.
Right.
When you think you're gonna start running?
I can't answer that, because remember my 3-year goal originally was to lease in 3 years,
I know you're doing it.
and I did it in 7 months.
Okay.
So now I'm on a second one, in under 2 years of actual driving. So with a better company. So it's fast forwarding, which I'm totally happy. I'm blessed for it. You know, I thank God for it. But it may be a couple more years. I may, you know, this company works out, everything works out. We'll probably run this lease all the way out for the term, and then after that, we're probably going to look into actually buying our first one. So we may run it out and
Yeah.
make everything smooth, get everything exactly how we want it. Because I mean, like I say, for right now, the way I see it, the revenue and the communication we're having with Prime, it's new, but I'm enjoying it.
We'll get a part 2.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we'll get a part 2.
Absolutely.
You know, the channel is never about, you know, talking bad about anybody.
Right.
It's just talking about your experience.
Right.
So in 2 weeks, they seem to be all right.
Oh yeah.
You know.
I'm pretty sure we'll have some headaches, but hey, this is with everybody's growing pains.
I like that. I like that. You know. So from this, the year that you've been driving, what's the worst part about it?
Being away from home. Being away from, when I say home, it's not because me and my wife, we drive together. But when I say being away from home, being away from my kids, you know, when things come up, of course, as a parent, you make that time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going home to do this.
Yeah.
But as a driver, you know, if you've been off on the road for 3 weeks and then you come home, but you got to drive another 9 hours to go somewhere, you got to spend 2 or 3 days there to drive home to get back in the truck to drive. You don't get a break. So that's the hard part. But at the same time,
What's the best part?
the best part is being on the road. It's driving.
It's driving.
It's driving.
You love it.
I love it, man.
When you say you love it, you love it.
I love it.
You know.
Driving is my therapy.
You proud to be a truck driver?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Your kids proud that you're a truck driver?
absolutely. My daughter, my baby girl's been in there with me. She rode with us for a couple of weeks, and she didn't want to get out of the truck. And it was great because she was doing online school, so she just grabbed the iPad, jumped on the truck, and you know, did her homework and stuff like that, and her schoolwork. But yeah, she's ready to come back out.
You know, now this is gonna be an interesting question because usually I ask where's the best place to get some food in America, but since you served, you know, you've been around the world. Where's the best place to get some food around the world?
My backyard.
Uh-oh.
Man, I'm
Where
telling
you live?
I live in South Carolina.
Is that
But
where
I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
I'm a beast on the grill, man.
Beast on the grill?
I'm a beast on. I have
All
my
right,
own sauce.
describe to me if I'm coming over your house.
Uh-huh.
What are we eating, man? What are we eating?
Well, you ever had ribs where you can pull them apart? Pretty rare everybody have, but they've never been in an oven. They've only come out the refrigerator, dry rubbed. I don't use a sauce. I don't put a sauce on my meat. I grill. I don't barbecue. To me, it's different.
Okay.
Barbecue, you know, you gotta use a sauce. You gotta cover. You gotta make
Okay.
it. I don't.
I'm learning right now.
Right. For me,
Okay.
I season it. My mom, I take this from my mom. I remember being a kid. My mom, she fixed my plate. I'm sitting at the table and I grabbed the salt. I never tasted it, and I went to put it on. She popped me. She was like, "You telling me I can't cook?" I said, "No." She was like, "Taste it first. How you know if you need salt or if you don't taste it?" So that's been in my mind. So now, learn
So
from
I
my
ain't gonna
mom.
need nothing.
You ain't gonna need nothing. You gonna all you gonna need is to be able to lick your fingers, man, and ask for some more.
Oh, Tim, man, I'm glad I made a
From
friend today.
steaks, from ribs, to pork chops, to chicken, you name it.
Everybody going to SC, we gotta go look for you.
Hey
over there,
man,
you
I'm
know?
telling you, I can. It's gonna be country now, but it still can be healthy.
Oh, I love
My
that.
mom blessed off of my collard greens. That's real big in the South.
Okay, I'm ready
You
for
know,
it.
collard. Well, you know, we down here in the South, collard greens is a staple.
So, am I invited to the barbecue? That's
Absolutely, absolutely,
Hey, I appreciate you.
absolutely.
I
Anytime,
appreciate-
man.
I appreciate you. If how many kids you got?
3. My wife has 3, so I have 6. That's
We'll
perfect.
leave it at that. So with 6 kids,
Yes.
If all of them want to be truck drivers, what are you gonna say to them?
Absolutely, do it.
You be okay?
I'll be okay. Do your homework.
It's a lonely road.
Do your homework. I don't tell anybody to do this without doing your research, because what works for me may not work for you.
I feel like anything would work for you, Tim.
I'm a chameleon, man.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
I'm-
If you went broke, knock on wood, all wood, but if you had nothing tomorrow, you gotta have something again the next day.
Oh yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none. We gotta
Hey.
learn some of everything.
This is a true American dream right here.
Mhm.
When I say I'm proud to be an American, this is what I'm proud of. I'm proud that we could be here. And if I have nothing, I'll work 20 jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was funny. I was on the phone with my mom, and I was telling her, I was like, I need to get on this truck. I'm ready to run. I'm ready to work. I say, I'm a provider. She was like, that's how you've always been. I say, I don't know anything else. I'm a provider. I like being a leader. I love teaching. And I love sharing. Like I said before, my definition of knowledge is useless information unless you share it. So what you know, if you keep it just for you, it works for you. But when you're gone, it's useless. But when you share it with everybody, if you take all this information you're having and you put it on YouTube, you put it on your channel, and people are going and they're pulling that knowledge and they're able to use it from different drivers, that's power. That's the true power of knowledge to me.
No, I love that a lot, Tim, because, I say it all the time, but you ain't no real boss till you can make other people bosses.
Right.
That's how I truly feel. That's what the channel's about.
And it's not even when you're trying to do it. It's just inspiring people and don't even know it. That's the best thing.
I didn't even know what this has become.
Right.
I just woke up one day
Mm-hmm.
and I've just been having so much fun with this.
Mhm.
See, I've been having so much fun with this for the last 6 years.
Right.
No one watched the videos, but I still made it.
Right.
They gave me something to do.
Right.
And then here and there, people would say it'd be helpful.
Right.
But these days, it's just become something different.
Right.
It's been something amazing where I'm giving. I'm not giving, but people are able to share their knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
like you talked about. Because if you don't share it, then it goes nowhere on the platform.
Right.
Where others that trust the platform can watch it
Right.
and see for themselves.
Right.
And so, because everyone always wants to hook people up that supposedly are somebody's. Man, we are all somebody. And the silent killers are the ones that know the most. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we all have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that most of drivers or people that are out here, we don't have an outlet that can get to the right people.
Exactly.
And so, I'm glad that we were able to meet today. Is there anything that you'd like to leave people with? Because I love when you said that about, it's useless information if you don't share it. Any last words or shout outs or anything that you want?
My brother JC, you know who you are. I'll make sure he reaches out and sees this when you post it. Shout out to him. One of my favorite soldiers that I spoke to you about, his name Timothy Natale. That guy's, he says I'm an inspiration to him. He wouldn't have been where he's at without me. And I'm like, all I did was my job. My job is to take care of you. You're my soldier. So my thing I want to leave out to corporations, people that have people working for you, or you have people working under you, or both. If I'm the manager and I have 20 people under me, those 20 people deserve 85% of my time, and the people over me gets 15%. And if that continues to work, the people that's over me gives 85% for me and the people on our level, 85% of the time, and 15% above. You can always take care of the people below you, because we know as a company in driving, everybody's everybody's job is important. Everybody's position is important. We used to have a saying in the military: "Don't judge your importance by your a distance to the from your distance from the flagpole." And that being said, if just because you're in the corporate office or you're driving a truck doesn't mean one position is more important than the other one. They're all equally important. Driving a truck, dispatching, planners, all is very important. But take care of the people underneath you. They'll do their job. If you take care of them, they will do their job 10 times over and work even harder. So it's easier for you to do your job and make you look good when it's going up to your boss, and vice versa as it's going up. But take care of the people underneath you, and it's going to be easy to take care of that company. If people take that concept, man, that's what I did in the military. When first time I came later, first thing I said was, my job is to take care of my soldiers. My soldiers do my mission. Whatever my boss gives me, I give them. He gives me a piece of his pie. This is my portion. I spread it out amongst my guys. They make that happen. My job is to take care of anything they have. Personal issues, time off, family, whatever I got to do. I take care of those issues. I'm the buffer between them and the boss. And then when they give me that back, my 15% goes to the boss. And everybody who was on my level as NCOs took it to our next level. And then he took his 15% up. Eventually, it's going to be 100% at the top. But everybody at the bottom. But you got to take care of those people below you first. Those guys do all my work. That's how it felt. It's never felt me.
Love it.
Never felt me.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.